I removed my implants after 8 years of having them. I was terrified what they'd look like when I take them out. Won't I have sagging skin, deflated boobs, and scarring? Well, that's exactly what my doctor told me would happen. So why did I still go through with it? And what do they look like now? I'm on the other side now, and I am here to answer everything. Let's rewind a bit. Why did I even get implants in the first place? It's 2018. I'm 24 years old. I'm competing in bodybuilding competitions. I am growing my social media. I'm working with major fitness brands. I am in a world where everyone around me has breast augmentation done. It was not only such a normalized thing, it was also encouraged. And I felt this pressure from outside, and I was young and naive and hungry for validation. At the time I also got them, I was very muscular. I was just powerlifting and bodybuilding, and I had so much muscle. And one day I looked at myself in the mirror and I felt so masculine, and I really wanted to feel like a feminine woman. And I thought that getting implants was going to help me achieve that feeling. I did not know this at that time, but since then I have learned that your connection to feeling feminine, your femininity, comes from within you. It is an energy that you embody. It is not dependent on how big your muscles are or how big your boobs are. I didn't know that. I thought, let's get fake boobs. Let's pull back on the muscle and you're going to feel more feminine. I got really big implants, way too big for my frame. And I still felt so disconnected from myself because I was searching externally for this validation from other people, from my partner, from my social media, from different business opportunities that I was getting, instead of finding validation within myself to know that I alone am worth it as I am. This has been such a learning process. So that's why I got implants in the first place. Even though I'm one of the people who didn't have many problems at all with my body reacting and encapsulating it and rejecting the thing. No, but I did experience negative side effects. So I want to put that out there to anybody who's looking to get them, and your doctor looks at you in the eyes and says like, this is totally safe, you're going to be fine. No, there are things that you should know that happen when you get implants, even if you don't suffer from BII like myself. And the doctor, trying to respect my wishes, put an implant that was way too big for my body, so big that he had to expand my breast pocket down into my abdomen by 2 inches manually, so painful. And then, since my breast pocket was now lower than it was naturally, even when I had my implants in, there was this weird line about 2 inches up the implant in the breast, this like weird indent of my natural breast pocket and then the expanded one that he created. And then a few years after I got implants, a brand of implants, the type of implant that I got, was recalled by the company for causing lymphoma in their patients. Lymphoma! I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me? So I called my doctor. I'm like, should I be worried about this? I just got this email that my implants are getting recalled for causing cancer. And he tells me like, no, it's fine. You know, if you want to replace them, the company will send you a new set of implants for free, but you still have to pay for the surgery. So he basically told me like, no, it's fine. But if you want to replace them, we can, but you have to pay. So what am I going to do? I'm like, okay, well, I guess it's fine. So I'll leave them in. But now that's in my head. Like, okay, now these implants get recalled for cancer and now it's in my body. And that's when I started to feel like maybe this was a bad idea. I also didn't know that implants need to be replaced every 10 years or so. Nobody ever told me that. 0 people told me that when I got my implants put in. 0. Like you get them in and you think, I'm going to have these forever. Yay. Nope. And people will say like, no, you can leave them in as long as they don't rupture. But have you seen the pictures of when people take them out after like 30 years and they're like yellow and disgusting? Like that's why they say to replace them, because you don't want that thing just sitting inside your body cavity getting old. And the more old they get, the more likely they are to rupture and leak into your body and cause other problems. So that's why they say you need to replace them every 10 years, which means a major surgery every 10 years. I did not know that at all. So long story short, I have them for 7 years. I break up with my partner, then I go on this crazy journey of self-discovery and reconnecting with myself. I truly realized that when I got my implants, I was searching for external validation, that it was actually coming from a place of self-lack instead of self-worth from within, and it was a deeper rooted issue that I needed to realize and to make right. So as I'm learning all of these things about myself, as I'm growing up, and at the same time I'm leaving these circles, I stopped doing competitions, and I started surrounding myself with people who were more grounded and who were more authentic and who valued you as a person instead of just the external experience of you. I started to realize, like, I actually don't need these things. Like, and then they started to feel like just this plastic thing under my skin that wasn't really a part of me, and it didn't match with me anymore. And I started to feel like, I don't want this anymore. This isn't me. Like, I just looked in the mirror and I hated them. It was just a shift inside of me that made me value my natural self more than I had did before. And I went back to the same doctor that put them in to tell him, like, okay, I'm ready to take them out. Let's do this. And the experience I had at this doctor's office was horrifying. I am not being dramatic. Number one, he didn't even ask why I wanted to remove my implants. Number two, he started talking about how breast implant illness is not a real thing and how everybody online is just being dramatic and implants are totally safe, which, by the way, I don't suffer from BII. I didn't have any problems with my implants. I just wanted them out. He didn't even ask me why. Then he tells me BII isn't a thing, which automatically makes me feel like you're a liar because I know so many women who struggle with stuff from BII. And number three, he says, they're going to look horrible. You're going to need a total lift because your implants are really big. So you're going to have to do an anchor scar that goes like this, and it's going to be this huge procedure. We're going to have to cut your nipple completely out to restructure your breast. You don't want to do this. He basically started to pull up images of people who have taken their implants out. Like, they weren't normal images. He was showing me horror stories of like boobs that looked horrible, one bigger than the other, one going one direction, like crazy scarring all over the chest, deflated, saggy, horrible boobs. He literally said the words, "You are young and attractive and you should have attractive breasts. Don't do this. You're making a big mistake. Why don't we just put smaller implants in instead?" And then he turns to my partner after he shows the pictures and he says, "What do you think? You don't want her to look like this, right?" Trying to get him on his side. And like, let's cut him some slack. Maybe he just isn't really good at taking implants out, because I've seen people's before and after with removing their implants and they look totally natural and normal and perfect and fine. So something's up with these before and afters he's showing us. Or number two, maybe he just truly doesn't like the way natural boobs look, and maybe he was really being genuine and trying to protect me. I don't know. But the way that he went about this experience it was like he was not trying to inform me with non-biased information. He was trying to scare me. Let me tell you one thing, Doc. One thing about me is if you tell me I can't do something, especially when it happens to be about my own body, I'm going to do it 20,000 times more. I left there feeling so pissed and like disgusted that this person is trying to tell me what's attractive and what's not, and that I'm going to look like a horror show if I take them out, and trying to tell me that I can't do something with my own body. It was disgusting. And I was like, just thinking to myself, I was in shock in the appointment. I couldn't put my words together fast enough to say something in the moment. But now that I'm out on the other side, I would have said so many things. Like, number one, I think natural boobs are also really beautiful and attractive. And that statement doesn't align with me at all. If I can never take them out, he's like, you can't take them out. That's what he told me. I cannot take them out. If that's true, why didn't you tell me that when I put them in with you? That should be the number one thing you say, is like, if you really think that I am not allowed to take out my implants, that you should inform me that when you put them in. Hello? And so I did some more research and I found another doctor who had so many beautiful before and afters with implant removal. He's like, yeah, let's take them out. It's going to be fine. And I was like, well, what about, am I going to need a lift? What about the sagging skin? He was like, no, you don't need a lift. You're young, you haven't had kids, your skin is still really elastic. You'd be surprised, the body will just snap back to normal in 4 to 6 months. It's going to be a journey. At first, they might not look amazing, but then over time, the body kind of goes back to its natural state. The pocket kind of naturally closes again. The boobs fill back out with the body fat that's there, and everything kind of tightens up over time, especially if you're really healthy and young. He was 100% confident that he could achieve a natural look. And he was like, your boobs will look exactly like they did before you had implants. Give it 6 months after the surgery. And I was like, oh my God, like imagine, like, and now I have two doctors, one telling me that I'm going to be like Frankenstein and the other one telling me I'm going to be my normal self. It could not have been a more different experience. And I share this because I just like think about like, oh my God, what if I just listened to my original doctor because I trusted him and I just got tricked into like getting another set of implants that I didn't even want? Like, what if I was really suffering from BII? What if I was really sick? Like, what's my option? You're telling me I can't remove them? It was just crazy. And that whole experience just made me so grossed out. And it even more so now that I've gone through the whole surgery. I went with the second doctor. He removed them. It was super easy. And I'm telling you, my boobs look fine. They look fine. I had implants that were 450 cc's before. That's huge. 450 cc's. I'm a tiny person. I was expecting really like gnarly boobs, and I was prepping myself through this whole process like, okay, the first few months are going to be really rough, just stick it through, they're going to look normal. But like, he took them out and I'm like, they look fine. They look fine. I don't know if I'm lucky or what, but like, they look really normal. Like, they're literally almost back to what they were before I had implants. So I don't want other women out there to get scared into doing something with their body that they don't want to do. And when I shared this journey in the first place online, literally hundreds of you guys were like, I want to take my implants out. I want to learn more. So that's why I'm making this video. He went through the same incision that they did when they put them in. So I had my implants done like they cut the nipple halfway. And so he used that same incision under the nipple to take them out. So the incision's only this big. So I will have a scar under both nipples, like along the nipple line, about 1 inch like that, which really fades and you can't even tell anymore. So I did not need a lift, thank goodness. Even though I had huge implants, I didn't need a lift. So he just went in, took them out, sewed me back up, didn't do anything else. The procedure took 1 hour maximum. My boobs didn't even look bad. Like, they looked swollen for the first few days a bit from the trauma of the surgery. There was no sagging skin. They didn't even look deflated. I was holding a lot of inflammation in my core and even like back here, like my body was a bit inflamed from the surgery for about a week, and then that kind of went away. After 2 weeks, you're allowed to do lower body movements, but nothing more than 15 pounds. So no cardio until week 4. They don't want your heart rate going and your boobs like jiggling and bouncing so much. Another question that a lot of people have asked me, and many people who suffer from breast implant illness, get encapsulated implants where the body forms a calcified pocket around the implant to try to like isolate it from the body. Those are called capsules, and when you have that, it becomes really hard to the touch and really painful. So many people who have breast implant illness get them removed along with this capsule around the implant of tissue, hardened calcified tissue. They also remove that because it's not healthy tissue. They don't know what's gonna look like until they get inside. And if they find an encapsulated implant, they will remove the capsule with the implant, of course. And it's called an en bloc capsulectomy, I think. But when my doctor went in, like I said, I didn't have any BII issues. My breast implants were soft and squishy, and I didn't feel like I was sick. So when he went in, he confirmed that there was no encapsulated unhealthy tissue. There was no calcification around my implants, so he just removed the implants because there was no capsule to remove. So many of you asked, did he also remove the capsule? Well, no, because there wasn't like a capsule to remove with the implant, if that makes sense. You put under general anesthesia. So you need to drink like so much water to flush out the anesthesia and the medication that they give you. So I've been drinking tons of water. I've been resting a lot. I've been sleeping a lot. I've been eating really healthy, and I've been taking my vegan greens and reds every single day because I want to infuse my body with like all of the vitamins and minerals and probiotics and prebiotics. Also, that supplement helps me stay regular. So while I'm taking the pain meds, it was nice because sometimes pain meds make you constipated. Let's take a break. Coffee break. I wanted to reclaim my body for myself. not for Instagram, not for my career, not for any men or external validation, but just a coming back to myself in full acceptance and in full love for my natural self. To prove to all the women out there and to the men and to myself that femininity is not about the way you look. It's about an energy that you exude from within. It doesn't have to do with your breast size or your muscle size. It has to do with your connection to your feminine energy. I want to ask you if you've ever felt pressured to look a certain way to feel like you're enough. I think we all have. And that is a big sign that you should do some inner work to try to heal whatever you need that validation from the external world, because anytime you get it from the external world, it's not solving what's inside. You need to work from the inside out, as cheesy as that is. But we all struggle with this. Like, many of us have succumbed to this pressure of like, we think we need to change the way we look so that others will accept us, or so that the world will think we're beautiful, or so that, you know, if they think we're beautiful, then I'll feel beautiful. But actually, feeling beautiful comes from the inner work you do within your own self. So if you feel like you need that external validation from the outside world, like I did at that time, it's time to look within. Where is that coming from? And what can you do to resolve that within yourself? Because feeling beautiful from within doesn't come from external validation coming from the outside. Yeah, it might feel good. People tell you you're beautiful. But if you need, it's like those little cheap shots of dopamine, or likes on Instagram. Like if someone throws you a like, you get a little dopamine hit. Wow, I'm valued, I'm valuable. Validation. Woohoo, it feels good. But as soon as that goes away, you feel depressed again. You don't feel confident anymore. So like, it's about building that self-love. It's about building that validation within your own self without needing these external hits of dopamine, these external validation hits at all, because as soon as they leave, they're gone. How can you cultivate that within your own self? That's what you need to figure out before you search for hair and makeup and clothes and breast augmentations and whatever else you're going to do to try to get yourself to feel more beautiful. This journey was never about my breasts. This journey was about reclaiming my power. Do I regret getting breast implants in the first place? No. Because this whole process of coming back to myself was about reclaiming myself. And if I never got them in the first place, who knows how long it would have taken me to feel this way again. So let me ask you one more thing. What if the most beautiful thing you could be is exactly who you are? Real beauty isn't about perfection. It's about being authentic. If you feel that pull to come back to yourself, trust it. Because the most beautiful thing a woman can be is herself. I'm so happy with my decision. I want to tell you, like, if you're thinking about this, if you're sick of your implants and you want to take them out, just do it. You need to find the right doctor for you. Find one that believes that you're going to have a great result and trust them. Don't let these doctors tell you otherwise, because there's so many out there that use fear tactics and tell you lies, straight up lies. Like, you can do whatever you want with your body. If you don't want implants, you're not stuck. All right, so I'm pretty sure I answered all of your questions. If you have other questions, please reach out to me via Instagram. My handle is below, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. I also put my doctor's information below, so you can reach out to him if you're wanting to do an implant removal yourself. I highly recommend him. He's been amazing. I'm super grateful that I found him, because if I had not, I don't know what I would have done. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned for my next video.